Some of you, it was fun watching you come in because you're looking at the chairs and going, oh my God, they changed things up again. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to sit. This is, of course, because we had our women's retreat yesterday. So, yeah. So in 2015, there was a remake of a silent comedy film that was made in 1926 called What is the World Coming To? And it's set 100 years in the future, so like 4 years from now, right? And in this movie, women are dominant and men are the weaker sex, and the drama is all around the men's lives at home. The working title of this film was Furious Future. That's 4 years from now, guys. It's funny because this is not what we talk about in the women's retreat. And I want all the men to know that we're not trying to dominate, that we want to be equal. That we want to be equal. And I want to show a picture of all the beautiful women that were here over the weekend. They were sparkling. They were sparkling, and the sky was lit up over the sanctuary last night or yesterday and Friday night, and it was a beautiful experience. It was so heartwarming to be here among all the women that were here. But it's funny that most of the news articles that we read today, and if you watch the news, we'd be asking the question, what is the world coming to? What is the world coming to? And that's often a question people will ask when there's change. There's something that they don't like in that change. Maybe there's something that we can't make sense of. We look at the world and say, what is going on? What is the world coming to? We don't like the changes we see in society. Just experiencing the last 2.5 years, we've probably asked ourselves that question from time to time. A lot of stuff going on in our world right now. And so when we're experiencing this, we need to give ourselves an opportunity to lament. To lament. Lament is wailing, is crying out, is screaming, if you will, is being in despair. And it's a spiritual tool because we have to let that out in order to uncover the divine that's within, the sparkliness that's within each of us. We have to be able to express that. And so during the women's retreat, you see our vine up on both sides of the sanctuary. Women were given a chance to lament, and that was on the green leaves. Now those are private, and those are not for anyone to read. I told them to just let it out. Whatever needed to be said, written down, let it out. And I want to give those of you who weren't here an opportunity to do that as well. We have some leaves for you. We have some pens. If anyone wants one, you can raise your hand. Our usher will bring you one, and you can lament all you want. If you need more than one to lament, you got a lot of lamenting to do, it's okay. Let that be okay. And you can raise your hand and you can add it to our vine if you choose. The vine is going to be coming down after the service, and they will not be read. It's all private, it's all confidential. And if you were here this weekend and you want to take your lament home, you're welcome to take it home and have a little ceremony and burn it or whatever you want to do, because it's released now. Those leaves wither and fall off the vine. And for those of you that weren't here, the sparklies, the grapes, the fruits of our vine, our sparkliness, our divine essence, that's what the sparklies are. Everyone got an opportunity to do that as well. So if you were here and you put some sparkle on the vine, you're free to take it home. We need to do this as a spiritual practice. We need to express our sadness, express our anger, express our despair, and then we make space to express from our divine selves, from our higher selves, that innocent part of us, that part that knows that we are fully human and fully divine. And we take it all. We express it all. None of it, all of it is valid. All of it's valid. The Lamentations, there's actually a book in the Hebrew scriptures called the Book of Lamentations. And I want to read you. Here's a lament for you. All our enemies have opened their mouths against us. Panic and pitfall have come upon us. Devastation and destruction. My eyes flow with rivers of tears because of the destruction of my people. My eyes will flow without ceasing, without respite, until the Lord from heaven looks down and sees. And this goes on for like 4 chapters. It's a lot of lamenting. A lot of lamenting. And so we have to allow ourselves to do that. We have to allow ourselves to embrace the dark part of ourselves as well as the light part. We had this image on the women's retreat on the agenda. And I'm sharing all this because I've heard that, us that don't go would like to know what you do. So I'm not sharing all of it, but we have this image, and I love this image because it's embracing your shadow side. And your shadow is also sparkly. It's all part of you. It's all part of who you are. And everything that has happened in our lives makes us who we are today. This beautiful soul, this beautiful self. So if we keep those things in, they just fester. We just allow them to permeate ourselves if we don't let them out and express them. And then we end up with what? A felty self-evaluation. We start identifying ourselves as a victim. We start identifying ourselves as this wounded person that nobody loves. Woe is me. The laments. Check it out in the Hebrew scriptures. But that's not our true self. That is not our true self. That is not who we came here to be. Our true self is love. Our true self is unwounded. Our true self is innocent. This week, Richard Roy wrote in his blog, our inner Christ child is the part of us that is not wounded. In our own way, we each have to rediscover, honor, recognize, and own that inner Christ child. We may have lost the vision of innocence, but the Christ child is that part of us that has always said yes to God and always will. Said yes to God, yes to spirit, yes to the universe, yes to life itself, to the life we were born to live. The life that we were meant to have here, the life that is filled with blessings and goodness and playfulness and joyfulness. And we so often get bogged down with all the other leaves on the vine. We want to bring out our sparkle. And then you have sparkle too. You may not want to call it that, and that's okay. You may call it your oomph, your go, your brio, your yes, your energy, your enthusiasm, whatever you want to call it, let it out. It wants to play. It wants to play. That divine part of ourselves is free and joyful. Express from that part of you. And then see the effects. See the effects of that. See the effects of the people around you when you come from that part, that sparkly part. Let's watch the video.
Mom, my shoelaces.
You can do it.
Please.
Okay. 2 bunny ears, loop around and pull together. Got it?
I don't want to be here.
James, I want you to pick an artwork you like and tell me about it. Art is a wonderful thing, and I want to enjoy it with you, okay?
Okay.
What do you see?
Sit here.
Okay.
Before you towers a terrifying scene of war. Thousands of horses who break the grassy ground in a cavalry charge. Soldiers sporting blood-red uniforms ride with valor in a fearless resolve to attack. Some blow military bugles, others raise their voice in a war cry. Mighty silver blades are exalted above their heads. Leading up front, a commander on a mighty white stallion. The beast's eyes were wide and ferocious, every muscle and vein pulsing through his skin. The commander rides the steed high, his face blazing with heroism, but still in his eyes a glimmer of fear. For at the front line, survival is not guaranteed.
I'm so proud of you.
Can you describe that one to us over there?
I love that video because he is sparkling. He is bringing his playfulness out. He's bringing his life force out. And I wasn't quite sure about the tagline with the video, but inclusion does make the world more vibrant, including in ourselves. So we want to include our whole selves in our lives. Look at the wholeness of us. Look at the inside as well as, not just the outside, but look at the inside, what's in there. And I've got a little demonstration for you. This is just a piece of paper on one side. It's a strip of paper. One side is sparkly blue. The other side is different skin tones, the best I could do. You probably can't see that too well. But if you think of a strip of paper, and when it's in this shape, this is the outside of us, and this is the inside of us. The sparkly bits on the inside, the outside, and they don't intersect. Nobody sees this sparkly part of you at all. All they see is what's on the outside. But a mathematician named August Mobius in the 1800s discovered this, and wrote about it before someone else also discovered it, called the Mobius strip. He got credit for it because he wrote about it first. If we just take this strip and twist it and then connect it, we've got a continuous inside out, inside out. If we were to draw a line, it would cover the whole thing. The inside and the outside are all showing. It's continuous. And that's what we want to do in our lives. We want to allow the inside to come out. We want to show all of ourselves to the world, to our community, to our family. Let the sparkly bits show. If you trace your finger, there's no end to it. It never stops. It's like the infinity symbol. And this was used in science and topology, and I don't know what that is because I didn't look it up. That's what I heard. That's what I read. Isn't that cool? It's a Mobius strip. can be a great metaphor for our lives, allowing ourselves to live from the inside out, letting people see all of us. Yesterday at the women's retreat, we all selected a goddess card. And the card that I got was, and the goddess cards represent different attributes of our inner beingness, different attributes of our divine essence that we all have. We have all of them. Some of them we may say are positive traits, and some of them we may say are maybe, on the surface not so much, but they're all part of who we are. They all serve a purpose. And the card that I selected was the dancer. I didn't share this with the group yesterday. I selected the dancer. And I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. Am I supposed to move more? What does that mean? But on the card, on the description, it says this: you must feel free to express yourself if you want to live a truly authentic life of quality and meaning. Our soul's dance is unending. And that's so true for all of us. Think of the Mobius strip. We have to be able to express from that inside part of us to the outside world if we want to live an authentic life. If we want to be happy, we're happiest when we free ourselves from the influence that we think other people are making on us. And the interesting thing about these goddess cards is most of us were looking at the outside world, and how is this playing out in our outside world? But really, look at it from your consciousness level. How is it playing out in your consciousness? How is it playing out with the thoughts that you're holding, with the views that you're seeing, the way you're looking at the world, your perceptions? And don't let any one thought influence how you live your life if it's not joyful, if it's not free, if it's not filled with love. Those thoughts are not serving you. It begins in consciousness. And I saw the truth of this for myself, because my intention that I set Friday night for the women's retreat was to love myself more, was to have more confidence and trust that I'm in the right place at the right time, that this is what I was called to do, called to be this person, this minister. And so often I look for confirmation outside of me, and I don't need to do that. And none of us need to do that. When we get triggered, we often want validation from outside that we're okay, that we didn't mess up, that we didn't make a mistake, that we're not wrong, that we're right. And the world is never going to give us all the validation that we want or think we need. And we have to learn to give it to ourselves. We have to learn to love ourselves enough that we give ourselves that gift. It's a gift. It's a gift. It's a gift. If you think of everything that's going on in your life as a gift, you will look for the good in it. It's a gift. It's a gift. It's a gift. Something happens. It's a gift. I know it's a gift. There's a gift in here somewhere. I know it. I just know it. Otherwise, we're going to be disappointed. We want to sparkle. We want to have that inner glow come out and spread it out. What does this mean for us in our lives today? What does it mean for your life? How can you bring more of the inside out? We want to live from the inside out. Instead of asking, what is the world coming to, we could ask, what am I willing to give the world? How am I willing to give more of my sparkly self, my divine self, my oomph self, my go self, my yes self, my brio self, whatever self you want to call that part of you? Are you willing to give that to the world? Give it to yourself first as a gift, and then give it to the world. How are you showing up? How are you showing up in those gifts that happen? How are we showing up? John Denver was in the movie Oh God. You remember that movie? That was a long time ago. But he said one of his favorite scenes was when his character Jerry is looking in the mirror and he's shaving, and then all of a sudden God shows up. George Burns, George Burns playing God, which is so funny that he would play God, but we all can play God. And John Denver, Jerry says to the person in the mirror, "Who are you?" And the face back says, "God." And he says, "What are you doing here? Why are you here now?" And God says, "Because I want everyone to know that I made this world to work." And Jerry says, "Well, have you read the newspapers? You didn't do a very good job. It ain't working. There are wars, there's hunger." To which God says, "I've given you everything you need. I've given you each other. I've given you each other." We can bring our God self out. Live from the inside out. Live from that sparkly place. Think of the Mobius strip. There's bracelets and jewelry and stuff you can do to remind yourself of that. To live from that place. Be that sparkly self. Amp each other up. Amp up yourself first, and then you can amp up everybody else around you. Amp up your sparkle. Bring the beauty out. Peace be with you. Namaste.